Good morning, children. Today we will continue the third chapter, Our Changing Earth. Okay, so in the last video we have learned about these all topics, such as river valleys, waterfall, meanders, oxbow lake, floodplain, levees and the delta. So before starting today's video, let's have a recapitulation. River valley. As I said, when a river or a running water enters a plain, it becomes wider. In this way, they will form a river valley. It erodes the mountains of steep sides and it forms a valley, that is called a river valley. And next is waterfall. As I said, after vertical erosion, when it falls from a great height to a lower area, it will take a form of waterfall. Next, meander. When it enters the plain, it twists and turns and forms the loops. They are called as the meanders. Next is oxbow lake. When in the fertile plain, these loops cut off from the main river or the main stream, it forms a separate lake. I'll show you. See this type of lake, it is called as a oxbow lake. Next is floodplains. So these all are the erosion activities of the running water. After this, deposition will take place. Deposition, as I said, the process where material being transported by a river is deposited. It is called as deposition. Deposition occurs when a river loses its energy. This can be when a river enters a shallow area, such as when a river enters or it floods and comes into contact with the flood plains. So in this way, deposition will take place. So now we will study about the floodplain. These all are the deposition landforms formed by a river, or we can say the work of the running water. They are floodplains, levees and delta. What is a floodplain? Yes, a floodplain is an area of low-lying ground which is close to or next to the river, formed mainly of river sediments and subjected to the flooding. This is called as a floodplain. Example, Amazon River Basin in South America. Next is levees. As I said, it is a low wall built across a river or a side of a river to prevent it from the flooding, such as a dam. Okay, that is called as a levees. Next is delta. Delta, as I said, when it enters to the floodplain, the movement of the water become very slow. Its speed become decreased. So in this way, the main river is distributed into small tributaries before entering to a main sea or a ocean. So these are called as the tributaries. So in this way, it forms a triangular shape of a land where all the sediments are deposited. This is a delta. That area, the triangular area, is called as a delta. See here guys, so till now we have studied about the erosional and deposition landforms formed by the running water. Next we will study about the work of sea waves, or we can call it as sea currents. As you all know, the water in the ocean bed or sea, it is continuously in the motion. So due to that movement of sea waves, so many landforms are formed on the coastal areas, such as sea caves, sea arches, stag, etc. Okay, so let's start with the sea waves, work of the sea waves now. So the erosion and deposition by the sea waves give rise to coastal landforms, such as we see beaches also. So strong wind rises a ridge of water which dashes against the seashore with a great force. These are called as the sea waves, or we can call it as the movement in the sea water. So I will repeat once again, the erosion and deposition by the sea waves give rise to the coastal landforms such as beaches. Okay, so in this way, strong winds which raises in the sea water, at the moment we can see in the movement of sea or ocean, which gives rise to the water, which forms like these are called as the waves, which we see in the sea or the oceans. So this strong waves will form the landform in the sea or coastal areas. Okay, so today we are going to start with the sea cliff, sea caves, stag, bar and barriers and beaches. So this we are going to study now. So first, the force of the wind and the rock pieces they carry become the tools of the erosion in the ocean water or the sea, we can say. So these are the work of the sea waves. They uses, okay, so strong wind rise and fall into the ocean water twice in a day. They are called as the tides. Okay, so even they are also called as the sea waves, which strikes on rocks continuously. The force of the wind and the rock pieces they carry become the tools of erosion. The steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above the sea water is called a cliff, as we see this kind of rock structure along the coastline. Okay, so due to the continuous strike, this part will be eroded, or we can say this rock will be broken into small pieces. That is called as a rock cliff. So due to the continuous strike of the waves on the rocks, the hollow structures like caves are formed. That is called as a sea cave. I do repeat once again. See here, the steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above the sea water or sea wave. As I said earlier, sea caves are formed when sea caves are formed in a cliff by wave action of an ocean. I repeat it once again. The pounding of sea waves on the rocks continuously also produce the cracks between these rocks. Okay, and the salt contained in the sea water also weakens the rocks. In this way, these cracks develop and become larger and wider over time. So this hollow, or we can say the broken part here, due to the waves on the rocks, the hollow-like caves are formed on the sea. This is called as the sea caves. So as these cavities or hollow blocks which we see here, it becomes wider and bigger by the erosion of time. So that will form a sea arches. See here guys, when two caves, as I showed in the first picture, when these two caves come closer and closer, or we can say when they approach one another from either side of the headland, that is the main arch or the main head part of the roof of the sea cave, and unite, then an arch is formed. Or we can say when these cavities or the hollows in the caves become wider or bigger and bigger, these caves remain, the roof of the cave only remains, and the middle part is broken due to the continuous erosion. In this way, this arch is formed, which is called as a sea arch. I hope you have understood. So see here guys, till now we have studied about the sea caves and the sea arches. So due to the continuous erosion, as I said earlier, the further erosion breaks the roof and only walls are left behind. They are called as the stacks. As I said here, see here, due to the continuous erosion of the sea waves, this too, like the main headland or the roof of the sea arch is broken. So in this way, only two vertical walls or pillars, we can say, they are remaining. So this is called as a stack, where we can see just two pillars which are left behind here due to the continuous erosion, that is called as a stack. So these all are the erosional landforms formed by the oceanic water, or we can say oceanic waves. Now we will study about the depositional landforms formed by the ocean water or sea waves. So first is beaches. As I said, the continuous erosion or pressure of the waves, the rocks are broken into small blocks over time, and then they are broken into small pebbles and sand. So this sea waves deposit sediments along the shores, forming beaches. I do repeat once again, the sea waves deposit these all sediments along the shore to form beach, or we can say these all accumulated to form a beach. Example, Marina Beach of Tamil Nadu coast is a famous beach of India. That is about the beaches. Next is bars and barriers. So the embankment of sand formed by the sedimation sedimentation through sea waves parallel to the coastline is known as a bar, while the larger bar termed as a barriers between the ocean and the land, that is called as a barrier. I hope you have understood, children, about today's session, that is about the erosional and depositional landforms formed by the sea, current or waves. Thank you everyone. Have a great day ahead.